start with questions for Coach Henson.
Coach, can you talk about your level of anticipation and excitement as you get ready for the new year?
Yeah, you bet. Every new year is exciting because every group is different. Personally, I feel like we have a wonderful opportunity to be really good this year. You know, we have to have some good fortune. We've got to work hard and develop some of our skill sets, but I feel like we have the talent to go get on the field and do what we need to do for our team to be successful. So that, to me, anytime we've got those factors in place, is always exciting.
Do you have to be careful about what they read and hear?
I think in this day and age, how do you be careful about what you're reading here? It's in front of your face 24/7. I think more than being careful about what you're reading here, and maybe the way you're saying that's right, I mean, it's just filtering out and not listening to too much. And maybe sometimes too little, you know, sometimes those things can be motivation. Sometimes they, you know, if you listen to too much, you start to focus on things that are outside of your control. So I think the thing is yes, just always keep what you're hearing, what you're giving access to your thoughts to make sure that stays inside of your control and you can get done on a daily basis.
What's the best thing about your club?
Well, I think the best thing that I've seen over the last 4 or 5 months is just the camaraderie, is the kind of team spirit. You know, coming from the bowl game until now, that's kind of carried over that feeling where guys are in it for each other, and they're playing for the guy next to them. And to me, that's the number one most important thing you can have on a team.
Josh,
Can you?
we can just that this was kind of the year that you guys from a development standpoint and move away from the portal. This was the year to kind of trust the development. In terms of looking at where you guys were in the spring portal, was that kind of the emphasis in terms of standing trusting the development? Do you feel like those guys are ready for some of the other guys?
It's time to get them ready, right? I mean, at some point you're going to take young guys and say it's time for that guy to make the jump, to make the leap to where he's performing at a level that's good enough for us to go win championships. And so that's why they call us coach. That's why the guys came here. That's why we recruited them here. So yeah, we've got to make all those things happen. But yes, we've got some young guys that we feel good about, but we've certainly got work to do to go make that happen.
Do you remember having a 2 deep this young before?
No.
How much confidence, despite having all these new players, obviously a different quarterback this year, how much confidence can you pull scheme-wise out of what you were able to accomplish offensively last year?
Well, I think from a scheme standpoint, I mean, we do what we do. What Coach Riley runs and what we run on offense is something that, you know, there's 80 to 90% of that's going to be based on what we do. So I think the confidence you get is from repetition, repping those things over and over and over again so that you can go on the field and execute them against all the things that you see from defenses today. So our guys get a lot of reps. We work a lot on not only base looks, but, you know, blitz looks and all those things. So I think when our guys step on the field, they're very confident in what they're getting ready to go execute.
Is there any confidence from the production that you were able to put up offensively last year?
Well, for sure, but every year it's new. I mean, there's new guys. We're going to have 2 or 3 new guys starting in the O-line this year. There's going to be new guys that we're counting on at receiver to be an every down guy. Some of those guys made some spectacular plays last year, but they weren't the every down guy. So that consistency that comes with doing that every day, I think, is that's why you practice, you know, and that's where we're headed. But I think every year's new, and you got to go out every year, and you can't really. It's funny. Every year in football necessarily doesn't relate to the year before or the year after. We've all seen players who had good years and then they have a bad year. Players who had bad years, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, where'd this guy come from? He's having a great year." So every year's different, and you have to have that sense of urgency. Go out every year, make sure you're performing at a certain level.
Josh, when was it that you noticed the light really went out for Elijah?
You know, I thought about week 10 or 11 last year. You know, it's a funny story. Elijah, he was down with us on our end, working as the 2 left tackle. And, you know, credit to Coach Riley on this. We just were a little bit frustrated, like, with his progression. We felt like he got to a certain spot. He came along well, and then he was just kind of plateaued. And Coach Riley, you know, and some of those things were just a little bit more physical presence, that when you're young, learning the intensity that it takes on every play at this level to be good. And so his suggestion was, let's send him to scout team. And week 6 or 7, he went to scout team, and he came back week 10 or 11, and he was a different player because, you know, down there on scout team, the defensive line's trying to, you know, they're trying to beat you up on every play. So, and they're trying to bully you and throw you around, and you have two choices: you can take it, or you can fight and get better and grow. And he chose to grow. And when he came back, then that's when I really noticed. I was like, oh, okay, his game started to progress to another level, to where you saw him play in the bowl game and play pretty well.
Could you break down the right guard competition going into camp?
Yeah, you know, at this point, we've got several candidates there. Amos, Talalele, Alani Noah, Gino Quinones, who's a returning guy that's played for us. Micah Banuelos, who's a young guy also. Those are guys that have been in the program. You know, I wouldn't even discount seeing Tobias Raymond in there at some point, maybe, if that was something that presented itself. So there's a lot of competition there. We're going to rep a lot of guys. We plan out all of our reps. There's going to be a lot of guys get opportunity, and that's going to be up to them to decide that competition on the practice field.
Fairly wide open.
Fairly wide open, yes.
Coach, are you like a
Getting better, getting close. I think we get pretty limited views coaching staff-wise. Obviously, we rely on our strength staff and our training staff because they're with them just about every day in the summer. We get pretty limited views of those guys summertime-wise. So I think when we get back out here the next couple days, back out on field, we'll get a better feel for that. But I know Gino's told me that he feels like he's getting close, but there's still going to be, we still need to make sure we're smart here at the first progression. But I think he's close.
What do they rep at center?
Oh yeah. Gino's an older guy that knows the offense, knows how to identify things and get everybody heading in the right direction. So he'll be right at the center also.
Coach,
yeah, I mean, you know, there's Mason, there's Tobias, there's Justin Tanu. Those are the guys that are in that position. We picked up a new guy, Erwin Taomi, who's we think is pretty talented. He's kind of a diamond in the rough, kind of out of nowhere, but we've had an opportunity to see him work live and in person. We're pretty impressed. So we'll see where that goes. And again, you know, there's some young guys there that gotta improve their game and step up, be ready to go if their number gets called.
what is it about Irwin that excites you?
I'm sorry.
What's the thing about Irwin that kind of excites you?
Size, skill, speed, foot movement. There's a lot of things. I mean, I mean, you watch him in person, and he's got a lot of potential. So we got to see where he's at on the football field. He's had limited football exposure up to this point, but I certainly think he has tools to get it done, and I like his demeanor.
Coach, is there a different approach to this season entering a new conference?
No, I've been through this before. When we were at Missouri and went from the Big 12 to SEC, you know, listen, football's football. It is what it is. The guy in front of you is the guy in front of you. I would tell you, having coached in the SEC, the Big 12, and the Pac-12 these last 2 seasons was dang good. I mean, you could put them up. I mean, one of the teams ended up in the national championship. So, you know, football's ball. It's not about the other team. It's about what you do. And we got to go out and put our best product on the field every day, and we'll be fine.
Which player doesn't make a team, but with the presence,